a free training, a free and quick training on how to use Yahoo Finance in order to pull options data. Now, if you don't know, when it comes to algo trading, quantitative analysis, whatever it may be, your data source is most crucial. You need to be able to pull information, pull data on whatever equities, stocks, options that you're going to be trading. You need to put it into a data frame and clean it up and then create trading sequences or utilize models against it in order to actually make profitable trades, right? So Yahoo Finance was one of the most popular ones in the past because it allowed us to get live data, but some people exploited that and Yahoo actually depreciated most of it. So the version that's available now is only really good for historical data, but it does allow you to get more current data. But I do not recommend you do that because it's been proven to be highly inaccurate intraday. So basically using this to do intraday trades is going to fuck your account. It's going to cause you to blow your fucking account. Don't use it for intraday. But for historical trades, or you want to see like how it performed in the past, definitely use this. It's a free way of doing that. Now, my preferred data source, my baby, you know, I talked about this in my last video. I am not sponsored by them at any sort, but they are so reliable. It's Polygon.io and it's not associated with the cryptocurrency. This is what I use for to get my options data, stock data, all of this here. I don't use it for crypto though, or Forex, but stock and options, Polygon. Now, again, I do pay for it. The free version only has 5 API calls a minute, which is shitty, but you can try it out with that. But I pay the $29 a month. I know you're thinking, damn, $29 a month, that's pretty steep. No, the hell it is not. Don't be cheap. I'm telling you right now, every good data source you're going to have to pay for. And this $29 a month is going to is going to literally save your account because it's going to give you accurate data fast. All right. That's what you need. And like I said, my algos are bringing in more than this per day. So it's more than my algos more than cover the cost of this and net a beautiful profit. Don't be cheap. Cheap is going to cost you. Don't be cheap. Be smart. The smart thing to do, pay for this. Pay for this and utilize this API. Do not be cheap. I'm telling you right now, you're going to use Yahoo Finance, you're going to burn yourself. But again, this is still good for trying to map out a strategy using historical data. So let's get into this training right now. So I'm going to import Yahoo Finance. So it's Y Finance, if I spell it right. I'm going to give it an alias because we don't want to have to type Y Finance out every time. We want to reference it just by using this alias. You can create alias of anything you want. You could put this if you wanted to. It's all up to you, but typically we all use YF, and that's just because it makes it easier to pull this later. Now, I'm going to pull one ticker for this. So YF ticker, and I'm going to call Tesla. All right, run this. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm going to call this again later. So I'm just going to call this data, just like how I alias Y Finance. I'm going to put this into a variable. So this variable is going to represent all of this. So I don't have to keep writing this out. I can just reference it by using data. So now data, run that. See, same, it's giving you the same object. It's letting you know that it's initialized, it's going well. All right. So now I want to pull in the options chain. So option chain. And the option chain module comes from the Y Finance library. It requires you put in a date, so the date of expiration. So you know most options contract has an expiration date. So I'm going to pick the next expiration date, which is going to be the 2nd. It's going to be next Friday. So let's run that. Boom. And now we got all of the options data for Tesla that's expiring next Friday. So it's right here, the call right here. All right, so I'm going to call this DF. Actually, I'm going to call this TD, which is going to be Tesla data. And again, this is just so I can reference all of this later on without having to write all this crap out. So now TD.calls, I just want to return the calls, the call contracts, not the puts. Boom, and now it returned a data frame. The beautiful thing about Yahoo Finance, API, is that these automatically return a data frame without having to call pandas. So you don't have to call pandas and you automatically just get a data frame, which is cool. right? I'm going to reference this as DF for data frame, right? Because now the cool thing is, let me call this again. Let me just call the data frame so you can see what it looks like. This is all the call options for Tesla that's expiring on the second, right? But as you can see here, like it just has a lot of values. Like say I want to, so you from here, you're gonna have to figure out what you want to do. Say you want to find the contracts that have high amount of volume and high amounts of open interest. So the beautiful thing about pandas allow you to query data. Query allows you to find specific values that fit a specific amount and pull it back. So say I want to find volume over 10,000 because when stocks or options have volume over 10,000, you know that's a lot of activity. That means people are looking at it. And if people are looking at it, you want to definitely know what's going on with it, right? So you would do df.query. That's a pandas query. And querying is, again, just like SQL. So if you know SQL, querying is the same way here. So inside quotation marks, you're going to put the title of the column. So the column that I want to pull, I want to pull the volume column. You got to type this exactly the way it's shown in data frame. So I'm gonna put volume. And then I'm gonna put greater than symbol. Remember this from math, 10,000. All right. So now we're gonna only see the call options that have a volume over 10,000. So that means a lot of buys and sells going on. So these show that these are actually very profitable, right? Or not profitable, just that they have a lot of activity. And a lot of activity is something that you need to look at. So say I want to also see open interest, right? So you can also put, and you can query two things. You can query multiple things at one time, which is great. Just like with SQL, you can query multiple things. You can query multiple things here too. So volume greater than 10,000, and say I want to do open interest over 1,000, which again, open interest means people who have an active contract that they're holding, right? So somebody, if the volume is over 10,000 and uh, people are active, like there's over 1,000 contracts being actively held by investors, that's a very good sign. So boom. So now I got volume over 10,000 and open interest over 1,000. So now these are all the contracts that are respectively stuff that you need to look at, right? So that's the way to do this. That's the way to query. And now, honestly, I would look into each one of these. It tells you the strike price, the last day, the bids, asks, everything, and just like basically look into building a model around this. Take this information and dump it into a model like Black-Scholes to bring this number down significantly to a smaller amount that have a high amount of theoretical future pricing. So the bid could be, again, $27, but say the theoretical future pricing should be at like $50, or say it's at $100. That's a multiple of like 2 or more X of the current price. So that means that's something that I would look into buying, holding, and then flipping for a higher amount. That's what I do. This is essentially what I do through Yahoo Finance. So you just need to pull the Black-Scholes model and actually pull this data into it. I'm pretty sure you could figure that out from there. But again, like I said, I do not use Yahoo Finance. I use Polygon.io. And if you're interested in learning how to use this, also how to stream live data from TD Ameritrade, which is another option as well, if you have an active account, I'm going to drop a video in my Algo World community. So sign up for my Algo World community to see how to pull live data the correct way and how to actually put it into a data frame and clean it up the correct way. But other than that, this is pretty much it. You could also, to make it easier on yourself, say you want to actually look at different stocks, you can create a function. I'm going to create one that says get data. And it's going to return, and I have to put in a ticker. Now this is going to be so that I can like literally pull any data frame option chain on any stock that I want. So I'm just going to take all the information that we just put here. Actually, I'm going to take the whole thing. So it's actually data equals Y finance, chain data. Let's take this options chain. And I wanted to return the calls. So I'm literally taking everything from here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this TD. Actually, yeah, TD, and just take out the data frame. So that. Let's run this, make sure it's good. All right. So now, sorry. So now we're going to call this function. Sorry about that. I had to double check that. Call this function. I'm going to put in Apple. Sorry, Apple. Jesus Christ. There we go. Let's run this. Did I forget to put the return? Oh, there. I forgot to put the return statement. Sorry about that. I was wondering, I'm like, why is it not playing? I'm like, oh yeah, you have to put what you want to return in the function as well. So yeah, so it's returning the call options. So sorry about that. So now I got all of the, sorry, I forgot to also substitute this for the ticker value that we're going to input there. So let's run that. And now let's run, boom, now we're getting the Apple contract. So yeah, make sure you take out the actual ticker that you put before and make sure you put ticker that you're referencing inside of the open parentheses so that whenever you put in the ticker value here, it's going to automatically reference it to pull from Yahoo Finance. So yeah, that's what I forgot to do. You can also change it up. You can put Amazon to run that. Now I'm getting all the Amazon contracts. Um, you can do Macy's, which is M. I'm getting all the Macy's contracts, call options. So you can even put the query in here as well too, or you can create another function for queries. But that's essentially how everything runs. Super simple, super fun to learn. This is something that I will definitely practice on a little bit more, especially with historical data. Now, again, if you want to learn how to use Polygon.io or TD Ameritrade, how to stream those data, just join the Algo world. But this is a great project to start with. I would definitely recommend you start with this, and then also look at my Black Scholes code, which is on my GitHub for free, and try to play with the Black Scholes code, pulling this data and dumping it into the Black Scholes code, and see what the theoretical future values of some of these contracts are after you query them here. So that's pretty much it. It's super easy. Like I said, it was nothing super crazy, but definitely check it out. It's pretty interesting. All right. See you guys in the next one. Peace.